Where's the best bar in Ireland?
Best bar in Ireland? Such a tough question. Like,
So we're here with Dara Kern, formerly the Guinness Guru.
you can still say Guinness Guru, it's all good.
Cheers, Dara.
Sláinte.
Good to catch up.
You too.
Since the Guinness Guru, I remember you saying before you're trying to avoid a real job. How's that going?
It's going well. Still don't have a real job.
Unbelievable.
And haven't been evicted from my apartment. So when I met you, I was hell bent on trying to right, I'm Dara Kern now. I'm gonna get away from all the pub stuff. I'm gonna do all food and I'm gonna do this, that and the other. It took me about 6 to 12 months to kind of realize I actually love doing the pub stuff. It was just that for it to be just 100% around Guinness, I was a bit bored of that kind of aspect.
Yeah.
But so since that, I've kind of gone back to a lot of pub style content, pints, traveling, chatting to owners, those great characters in pubs, as you know. And just on top of that, then been lucky enough to be able to do stuff in kind of sport, especially rugby. I'm a massive rugby fan. Gotten to do stuff with some of the Irish rugby players through different brands and stuff. So yeah, we're still Dawson.
An interesting life.
Yeah, it's
you must be like, out of anyone I know, like the best travelled beer drinking influencer in Ireland.
Yeah, it's pretty specific niche.
Yeah.
Beer drinking travel influencer. Yeah, I mean, I always said when I was kind of changing from strictly just Guinness stuff to whatever I'm doing now, I said like the most amazing thing I got from all the Guinness Guru videos was not just like I traveled a good bit around Europe with it, and I was in America and stuff like that. But the most amazing thing was to actually see, as you know, you cover this beautiful island we live on. I saw like a lot of Ireland that I wouldn't have probably seen. Like most people don't just pick up the bags and go to somewhere random on the weekend in Ireland, you know what I mean? And I pretty much saw like every major town, every major city, most major towns, a lot of small villages, and yeah, like what a country we have.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about wildest towns. Where would you go in Ireland for the maddest night out?
Would you guess what comes straight to mind?
Carrick-on-Shannon.
Yeah. I went to Carrick-on-Shannon. I've kind of good experience because I went at like 20 years old for like New Year's. 20 years old, totally just get as drunk as possible, go crazy, out all night. I also went on a stag about 2 years ago when I was say 30, which would have been kind of a bit more low key. Well, the stag wasn't low key, but I'd have been a bit more low key, so you kind of saw both ends of it. But I think Carrick-on-Shannon is the sort of go-to if you just want a real basic piss up, acting the bollock stag, and a town where you probably get away with it. I know you didn't specifically ask about stags, but a town where you probably get away with maybe that little, I'm not saying go and burn the town down, but you'd get away with that little bit more leniency maybe from some of the pub owners, because they kind of know half the clientele are just here for a boozy weekend, you know.
Where is in your opinion, where's the best bar in Ireland?
Best bar in Ireland in Dublin and outside of Dublin. So do you want to go that angle? Or do
Yeah,
you want to
okay.
just go Ireland?
Yeah, let's actually do that. Best bar in Ireland outside of Dublin.
Yeah, because I think if it was Dublin and outside of Ireland. Outside of Dublin, the one that comes to mind, I love a pub in Dingle. I'll probably always say Dingle as like a lot of my favourites, and when it comes to pubs or pints, I love a place called Foxy John's in Dingle. I think just because it was the first pub I went to when I went to Dingle for the first time, like maybe 7 years ago. This is way before I was even doing videos or anything. And just you walk in, on the right hand side, it's a hardware shop. On the left hand side, same room, is the bar. You go out to the back, the fire is on, it's unbelievably cozy. The roof is low. It's just like, if I could design a pub, that it would be Foxy John's in Dingle. I could give you a list of 50 pubs that would, like on any given day would be my favourite. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it'd be like genuine. I know it's a cliche. Genuinely like trying to pick a favourite child, because there's been so many unbelievable pubs.
And then go back to Dublin. Where's the best bar in Dublin?
Again, the way you're phrasing it.
Where is the best bar in Dublin? Oh, I'd say the Gravediggers, because you've covered that one.
Yeah, like the one I always go back to is Mulligan's on Poolbeg Street. Just kind of like first and foremost, unbelievable Guinness. Old school Dublin ale fellas running it. Do you know what I mean? No nonsense, but also you'd have an hour-long conversation with them, and I would find myself in there a lot. But it's such a tough question.
But Mulligan's is a good one.
If I had to give you one, I guess Mulligan's. Yeah.
Yeah. Best pint of Guinness in Dublin.
Oh God.
I've already asked you this one, but is it still the same?
If you go on statistics, I've been to 250 pubs, rating them whatever. 3 of them only ever got over a 9. And again, I have no clue what I'm talking about, but this is just the system I went with. 2 of them are in Dublin. One is Bowes, which I gave a 9.2. One is the Gravediggers, which I gave a 9.3. Realistically, places like Mulligan's, Bowes, the Gravediggers, Walsh's and Stony Batter, and I could probably name another 5 around town, are all probably that kind of 9, 10 out of 10 realistically. So to say one is definitive, like Gravediggers is that everyone says Holy Grail, but to be honest, I would have it equal with the likes of Bowes, Mulligan's. Like Gravediggers is great, but it's not in the city centre, so that kind of is off you got to get a taxi out there. I would say Mulligan's, it's like literally 2 seconds from the touristy area of Temple Bar, but you're just kind of away from that. And then you have the Palace Bar there as well, which isn't far. But for me lately, I'm a big fan of Mulligan's.
So let's talk about Irish pubs outside of Ireland. Where's your favourite pub? You've been to a lot of cool ones around the world. What's the one that comes to mind?
The one that stands out would probably be, and a lot of people will know it, Lower Manhattan, the Dead Rabbit. Probably the only bar I ever was in the States that genuinely felt like I was not time traveling, fucking exported back to, being in some little random town in Donegal. You walk in and it's just low ceilings, wooden beams across. I could be wrong, but I think they even have like that old traditional, like the kind of sawdust on the floor, and above all else, an absolutely savage pint of Guinness, thousands of miles away from where it's made. So, yeah, the Dead Rabbit is probably like the standout Irish bar. There's bars in the UK, but they're not really as much like, the whole Irish bar thing. It's not really as prominent in the UK, but it's when you go out of that. So
I think the attention to detail in that pub was just top notch. Like,
have you been there?
no, I was in New York recently and we were going to go. We never made it. But when I heard of it, like, they do the cocktails, I thought it was going to be a cocktail bar, but I've seen videos of it online, and it does look like someone done a tour on TikTok, and it looked amazing. Yeah.
The Guinness was unbelievable there, and then on top of that, everything else was just so quintessentially Irish. Does that even make sense?
Outside Ireland and the UK, best pint of Guinness you've had further afield?
Probably the Dead Rabbit.
Yeah. Why? Just describe it, but...
Well, because I went there on the searching for a great pint of Guinness. I got a great pint of Guinness, an absolutely exceptional pint of Guinness. And then on top of that, you genuinely felt like people, you always say, oh, there's the bar atmosphere and stuff, that used to come into the score and all that sort of thing. Probably did, to be fair. And just an absolutely incredible bar run by, and again, don't know if it makes a difference, but it's run by a guy who, has set it up. I think he's from Donegal, and it's just the real deal.
Best pint of Guinness in America is the Dead Rabbit.
Yeah, no high standards over there.
Guinness Guru.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Guinness travel well outside of Ireland, in your opinion?
So I did a full video to try and find this out. I took a keg that was sitting in the back of the Gravediggers, known as the best pint of Guinness in Ireland. I literally shipped it to a friend's pub in Vienna in Austria. It was good, wasn't as good, but actually, ask me again, because that fucking story is quite irrelevant to the whole thing. I'm just thinking now.
Does Guinness travel well, and if not, why doesn't it travel well outside of Ireland?
In my experience, nothing changes in the travel process. Nothing gets into it to make it bad. It doesn't go bad in the air or anything. The problem is, once it lands, it's in a different country. Like, you think, why is the pasta so good in Italy? If you try to give me an answer to that, why is the Guinness so good in Ireland? It's because it's literally part of the culture. It's ingrained in Irish culture. It's been around for 260 plus years. It lands in another country and they're just not as obsessed about the product as we are here. So it goes into there's loads of different things. Like, it goes in and maybe sits too long or doesn't sit for long enough. the lines aren't cleaned often enough. The line is too long, it's too short, it's served at, typically overseas it's served too cold, especially in the UK. And so that it's not that it doesn't travel well, it's that when it gets to where it's traveling to, the people, not that they don't care, there's just not near as much passion because it's not a part of their culture. And for that reason, not as much care goes into the product.
So much passion in that. Cheers, I love Guinness.
There you go.
Just makes you want to drink.